across the vast, sprawling landscapes of America, from the sun-scorched deserts of the Southwest to the dense, rolling hills of the Appalachian Range, a profound and unfamiliar silence is taking hold. It's a quiet that settles not in the wild, untouched corners of the continent, but in the very heartlands of its commerce. Here, where asphalt and steel once roared with the constant hum of human ambition, a new kind of emptiness pervades. These are the Great Plains of modern consumption, the sprawling territories of the automobile. For generations, these lots were vibrant ecosystems, teeming with activity. The glint of sunlight on polished chrome, the scent of new leather, the murmur of negotiation, these were the signs of a thriving habitat. But now, a strange and dramatic shift is underway. The herds of steel and glass stand motionless, their vibrant colors muted by a thin layer of dust. The migration of new owners, once a predictable and relentless, seasonal ritual, has slowed to a mere trickle. What we are witnessing is a slow-motion collapse, an event of immense scale, unfolding in plain sight. Millions of vehicles, the very symbols of American freedom and mobility, sit unsold, their powerful engines dormant. They have become monuments to a bygone era, silent sentinels guarding the entrance to an uncertain future. This is the story of that stillness and the profound changes it represents for a landscape and a way of life built around the car. In this intricate ecosystem of commerce, one name has long stood as a titan auto nation. Its territory is immense, a sprawling archipelago of dealerships stretching from coast to coast. For decades it has been a dominant force, its name synonymous with the very act of acquiring a new vehicle. Their lots were carefully curated environments, designed for a single purpose: to move metal. Each vehicle was positioned with precision, a metallic creature displayed for the discerning eye of a potential buyer, its polished hide gleaming under the harsh fluorescent lights that turned night into day. The scale of their operation is almost difficult to comprehend. Imagine not a single lot, but hundreds, each a self-contained world with its own rhythms and cycles. The morning arrival of staff, the steady influx of customers throughout the day, the nightly ritual of locking the gates on a field of sleeping machines. This was the pulse of AutoNation, a heartbeat that echoed across the nation. It was a testament to a system perfected over a century, a finely tuned machine of sales, service, and relentless growth. The sheer volume of vehicles passing through their hands was like a great river, constantly flowing. But now, that river is beginning to run dry. The once bustling territories are falling quiet. The endless rows of sedans, trucks, and SUVs stand in silent formation, their purpose unfulfilled. What was once a symbol of overwhelming success now carries a different weight, the weight of inventory, of stagnation. The sheer grandeur of AutoNation's physical presence now serves only to amplify the emptiness. It is a kingdom of vast and silent halls, where the echoes of past triumphs are all that remain. CarMax represented a different evolutionary path. It was a revolutionary concept, the no-haggle superstore. Here, the traditional, often confrontational dance between buyer and seller was replaced by a sense of order and transparency. Their lots were designed not as hunting grounds but as vast, open libraries of automobiles. Customers could wander freely, unbothered, through immense catalogs of steel and rubber, comparing, contrasting, and contemplating in a low-pressure environment. It was a strategy that proved phenomenally successful. The energy on a CarMax lot was once palpable. It was a place of constant motion, a hub of decision and transition. Families searching for a larger vehicle, young professionals acquiring their first taste of independence, enthusiasts seeking a specific model, they all converged here. The air was filled with the sounds of doors opening and closing, engines starting for test drives, the friendly chatter of associates guiding customers. It was a complex social environment, built entirely around the automobile, and it thrived on a relentless current of human activity. Now, a deep and unsettling quiet has descended upon these places. The suspense lies not in the hustle of a potential sale, but in the profound lack of it. The once bustling aisles between cars are now long, empty corridors. The customer lounge, designed for comfort and waiting, sits vacant. The reverence once reserved for a pristine, low-mileage trade-in is now afforded to the silence itself. It hangs heavy in the air, a stark counterpoint to the vibrant energy that defined these lots for so long, turning these temples of transaction into silent monuments of a stalled economy. The reach of the Penske Automotive Group is truly global. Its influence extends far beyond the borders of America, a vast web of dealerships and logistics that represents the pinnacle of automotive enterprise. This is not merely a retailer, it is an empire. From high-end luxury imports, in affluent suburbs, to the workhorse trucks that form the backbone of industry, Penske's presence is felt across countless sectors. Their strategy was one of diversification and prestige, a carefully managed portfolio of brands that catered to every level of the market. This vastness, this sheer geographical and economic footprint, is what makes the current stillness so profound. It is a silence that is not localized but systemic. A slowdown in a single dealership is a local issue. A slowdown across the Penske network is a global economic indicator. The slow, reflective turning of a massive sign bearing their name now seems to mock the lack of motion below. The logistics that once moved thousands of vehicles daily with military precision now manage a slow, stagnant inventory. The stillness here feels different. It is heavier, more significant. It speaks to a disruption not just in consumer habits, but in the very supply chains that wrap around the planet. When an entity of this magnitude begins to quiet down, the silence is not just an absence of noise, it is a presence in itself, a powerful resonant quiet that signals a fundamental shift in the tectonic plates of the global economy. The great machine of Penske, once seemingly unstoppable, is now idling in a state of profound and watchful stillness. The story of Lithia Motors is one of astonishingly rapid expansion. Like a species perfectly adapted to its environment, it spread with incredible speed, acquiring smaller dealership groups and planting its flag in new territories across the American heartland. Its growth was aggressive, relentless, a strategy of consuming and consolidating market share. They moved into smaller towns and communities, becoming the de facto automotive hub for entire regions. For a time, it seemed there was no limit to their expansion, no community too small to host the Lithia name. This rapid growth had a significant impact, both human and environmental. It created jobs and brought a new level of inventory and service to areas that were previously underserved. But it also transformed landscapes. Vast tracts of land were paved over, illuminated by towering lights that banished the night sky. The environmental footprint of each new dealership, the asphalt, the runoff, the energy consumption, was a small but cumulative price for this expansion. The human impact was just as deep, as local economies became increasingly dependent on the fortunes of a single distant corporation. Now, the silence that has fallen upon these outposts is particularly poignant. In these smaller communities, the dealership was more than a place of business. It was a landmark, an employer, a fixture of local life. The unexpected quiet is not just an economic indicator, it is a social one. The empty lots tell a story of promises unfulfilled, of a rapid boom followed by an unsettling bust. The silence here is a reminder of the fragility of such rapid growth and the deep, quiet void that is left behind when the engine of expansion suddenly stalls. Sonic Automotive wove itself into the very fabric of the communities it served. It often maintained the local names of the dealerships it acquired, fostering a sense of continuity and trust. The Sonic name might be on the paperwork, but to the residents, it was still the local Ford dealer, or the town Chevy place. Their presence was meant to feel organic, integrated. The sounds of these places were the sounds of the community, the local high school football coach buying a truck, the chatter of a neighbor's meeting in the service department waiting room. To evoke the sense of abandonment now, one must only listen. The immersive sound of the environment tells the story. Listen for the gentle, rhythmic ticking of a rope against a flagpole, a sound once drowned out by the din of commerce. Hear the distant bark of a dog, the lonely whistle of a train, sounds that now travel unimpeded across the vast, empty asphalt. The wind, once a minor nuisance, is now a dominant voice, whispering through the gaps between thousands of silent, motionless vehicles. This fading presence is a form of local extinction. When the central hub of a community's automotive life goes quiet, the ripples are felt everywhere. The local diners see fewer customers for lunch. The nearby parts stores have fewer orders to fill. The silence is not just in the dealership itself, but in the surrounding economic ecosystem. The sonic lots, once vibrant centers of community life, are now becoming quiet islands of abandonment, their fading presence a stark and audible testament to a changing world. The American landscape is, once again, changing. But this is not the change of pioneers carving new paths, or of cities reaching for the sky. This is a quieter, more reflective transformation. The great herds of automobiles, once a symbol of ceaseless momentum, are now standing still. Their silence is a powerful force, reshaping the economic and social topography of the nation. These vast empty lots are becoming the new monuments of our time. Vast fields of glass and steel that speak to a profound and uncertain shift. This stillness is more than just a pause. It is a deep, resonant quiet that asks fundamental questions about the future. What does a landscape built for constant motion do when that motion ceases? What becomes of the industries, the communities, the very way of life that depended on the relentless hum of the engine? The silence is an answer in itself. It speaks of a system under immense pressure, of a paradigm shift that is happening not with a bang, but with a slow, pervasive hush that settles over everything. As we look out over these quiet lands, we are seeing the birth of a new kind of wilderness. It is a wilderness of our own making, born from the things we have built and the systems we have created. The future of this landscape and the creatures, both human and mechanical, that inhabit it, remains unwritten. The only certainty is the silence, and the profound, unspoken story it continues to tell about a world in the midst of a great and silent change.